Start with the red-hot first place Tampa Bay Rays as they win again last night north of the border in Toronto against the Blue Jays. It's interesting. We got a really good pitching matchup between Gosman last week against God,
Rasmussen.
Thank you, Drew Rasmussen. I don't know why I was drawing a blank on him and not Kevin Gosman. But they had a really good matchup a week ago where both pitchers pitched really, really well. And then now, not so much last night, as Drew Rasmussen was pretty good, gave up 3 runs. But Gosman, I was actually surprised he got into the 5th the way the game started with the Rays ahead 5-0 to start out just after the top of the second inning. And, of course, they gave up 3 of their own in the bottom half of that inning.
I was surprised Gosman was going for his 2000. He got it, his 2000th career strikeout, which is a huge milestone, becoming the 6th active pitcher to reach that milestone. That was a little surprising for me, but a guy who's been around for a while.
Yeah, now I know he's been around for a while. If you would have asked me if I thought that was going to happen last night or that was in play, yeah, I was surprised by that as well. But an unbelievable game again, 8-5 the final score. The Rays winning, and we see last night, and we, at the end of the game, if you didn't hang around for the whole thing, and I was kind of checking out towards the end too because it just felt like there was no doubt the Rays were going to win that game. Chandler Simpson dinged up at the end of the baseball game. Apparently, Kevin Cash says it's not a big deal and he's going to be back. He's listed as day-to-day.
Coming out of the box, it was a little weird because I thought maybe I'm looking for it, and it didn't look like he hit a ball off his foot or didn't look like any of that. Well, obviously. But running out of the box, I'm thinking, what happened to him? And
Which is always scary.
Oh, yeah, and then they take him out of the game, and then we're just waiting for an update on it. And apparently maybe it's just cramping.
Yeah, that's what Kevin Cash said. I immediately, whenever I see a guy weird going down the first baseline, think hamstring. It's just, and it's not always that. A lot of times it's not that. But for whatever reason, that's the first thing that pops into my mind is, that's got to be a hamstring. Whenever a guy starts getting down the first baseline, kind of weird.
For him, that would be devastating. It seems that is not the issue. And we saw yesterday, once again, Chandler Simpson using his feet, using his legs to help this team manufacture runs. And, of course, it starts with his bat as he's hitting .314 now, 3 for 5 yesterday, 3 runs scored. He was just electric, and one run he just manufactured completely on his own.
Yeah, did it all by himself in the 4th inning, and it was just unbelievable to watch the way he was able to get around the bases. First of all, gets on with an infield hit, which we've seen from him so many times, and then he's at first base, and he catches something from the pitcher. And you and I were just talking about it before the show began. Like, I didn't recognize it when he started pointing. I'm like, what? I didn't know what he was pointing about. If you didn't see it, there was a balk on the play, and he called it out. He's the one who immediately as he's leading off at first base, he points at the pitcher, and you see him go back to the umpire, and then the umpire calls the balk. So that gets him to second base. Immediately takes off for third base, and the ball goes into left field as they try to catch him stealing, going to third, and he goes home and does all of it by himself. And that's when you talk about like whether or not he was hurt at the end of the game, that inning alone shows you what you lose if that guy isn't out there for you.
No doubt. And, you talk about stealing third base before the errant throw. The catcher shouldn't even have thrown that. Chandler was beating that out easily, and that is just how electric he can be. You talk about that.
It's going to be hard to recognize that in the moment, though, right, for a catcher?
No.
You
got to decide. Don't throw it or don't throw it. Like, if you see that guy.
It's a split-second decision. And you have to believe in your ability to make the play.
If you're throwing a do-or-die throw in the manner in which he did that with 2 outs, you got to think of everything. You got to think of everything in that situation. There's 2 outs. You just had Fiducia and Walls who struck out to start that inning. Now, you do have Junior Caminero coming up, or Junior Caminero there at the plate. So you do have to kind of, as a catcher, peripheral vision, decide, do I eat that? Or do I just – it was a do-or-die throw, and it wasn't even close. So I do think, even though it's split second, you have to be able to read that, and you have to be able to make that decision quickly, especially from that vantage point. A catcher, you see that guy running. You see that. You can see that. It's a little bit different from first to second, I would imagine.
Oh, absolutely. You're seeing that off the edge, right out of the corner of your eye, if you will. If a guy's moving from first base, you're looking straight ahead. He's right in front of you if he's at second.
But the point two guys, Fiducia and Wall, strike out swinging. It's and Wall striking out looking. It's a 2 out, nobody on. Chandler Simpson up, infield hit. Like, just to manufacture that with 2 outs. Talk about the start of the game, just to get this thing going. And this is why you guys were correct. And Pat, I know you were arguing for it vehemently, for Chandler Simpson to be at the top of the lineup. And last night was a perfect example of why leading off for Chandler is an advantage for the Rays. Yeah. You want to get out to an early lead. You want to get any pitcher an early lead. But for Chandler Simpson to get on infield hit off the pitcher, and then Junior to hit a base hit, move Chandler to third, and then Aranda doing his job and getting a sacrifice. And then later, Aranda, broken bat single with a couple outs to drive in a run. These are the things that the Rays have been doing so well that have just become wins for them. And they needed it yesterday because they did, the second inning for Rasmussen was shaky. That was his only bad inning. He did get the quality start. But overall, Pat, the one guy who scares me in the bullpen is Seymour, who just struggled yesterday again.
Yeah, well, his ERA is only 6, so I can see why he concerns you because he's been, I think up and down would be gracious if we said that Ian Seymour's been up and down out of the bullpen. I mean, he's been a problem. There's no doubt about it. By the way, this is how excited and impressed and happy we've been with the small ball and the manufacturing of runs this season. You just mentioned 2 of the 3 RBIs for Jonathan Aranda. You didn't mention his home run.
I did not mention the home run.
You didn't mention his home run.
Good rip.
That's how like, and listen, the home runs are great, but the reality is it's not how this team is going to win baseball games, right? What happened in the first inning, to your point, is how they're going to win baseball games more times than not. What happened in the 4th inning with Chandler Simpson just being a problem is how they're going to win baseball games more often than not, which is why the home run's great, but you don't even mention it because of all the other little things they're doing so well, which is why they're 27-13 right now.
It's such a great point. You know what else I didn't mention? Richie Palacios.
Yeah,
and
big night.
The big night. And to keep that going as well, when you get the Aranda sacrifice to bring Simpson in, good, you manufactured a run. Let's not stop there. Let's get 2 out hitting, which they saw. Fraley, Palacios. Palacios was great yesterday, and that's not a guy who's in this lineup every single day. So you have now depth pieces, getting Gavin Lux back. They're going to have to figure out a way of how they're going to utilize this and implement it, and Kevin Cash is the perfect guy to do it. If you heard me yesterday, you know why I believe that.
Palacios a lot like Williamson at second base, where like he's only getting Palacios right now only has a 232 average, but it seems like he's come up with big hits in big moments and has been good at the plate when he has a chance to drive in runs.
He's gotten better, too. And then Fiducia, getting the wheels going from first base. You've got Fortes and Fiducia, guys who are actually producing in the lineup for the Rays from the catcher position, defending well, putting up good at-bats for the most part. I like what we're seeing with all of it, except a few pieces here and there that they're going to have to figure out, and Ian Seymour's going to have to get it together. But Hunter Biggie was spectacular. Baker's been electric for them. So this team is not only the best team in the American League, they're the second best team in all of baseball.
Wild. It's absolutely unbelievable.
Of baseball. The Braves are the only team with a better record than the Rays, and it is by half a game.
And we talked about the run that they were on when we were talking about the run that the Rays have been on. And, it was I don't know what the number is now, but, I was talking about what the Rays record had been since I had said I didn't see them turning their season around 4 series in. And the only team that had had a better record through that stretch is the Atlanta Braves. So they're on very similar runs where since the beginning of the season, starting okay, not very good, have been absolutely electric over the last month or so. And it's just been so much fun to watch. And like we talked about, not only does it look sustainable, but if you get through May in good shape, and it's not like the schedule this month is a murderer's row by any means, but if they can continue what they've done at home, which has been unbelievable, they've got a lot, as we talked about, I think last week, they've got a lot of home games coming up in June. So when you talk about sustainability, if you can continue to play really strong baseball at home. And by the way, they've been playing well on the road, too. But if you continue to play, I think 14-4 at home, you could extrapolate that through June. This team's going to be in really good shape down the stretch run.
One of the best teams in baseball, looking like the best, and the power numbers are not there, but they're hitting for average, and they're pitching well. And that is a recipe in baseball for success, clearly.
Yeah, matchup of lefties today for the Tampa Bay Rays is Shane McClanahan will be on the mound for the Rays tonight in Toronto against Patrick Corbin for the Toronto Blue Jays. So are we playing the under today, boys? Is that the move? The under between like two really good starting lefties on the mound tonight?
No, because
you think the Rays are just too on fire to play the under?
You just stay away from it because you want the Rays to score a bunch of runs, and you don't want to get to the point.
Just never happens for me when I want them to.
That's why you just stay away from those bets.
Last night I thought, and you're right, because last night I thought almost the exact same thing. I was like, well, it was 4-3 last time these two teams played. When these two starters started that from last night, Drew Rasmussen and Kevin Gausman, when they played the last time, it was 4-3. It was one of those games where that was the one I think you and I were talking about as a quote-unquote baseball win because they waited for Gausman. They got two, I think, in the 7th or 8th. I think it was the 8th to end up winning that game 4-3. So I thought, oh, we'll see that again last night, and certainly not the case.
Rasmussen, well, wait until, I've got a crazy stat that I'll get to a little bit later on in the show. You have to just keep listening forever.
Forever and ever.
Forever.
What are you thinking, like 8:15?
I'm thinking
9:30. Aaron's going to give out the stat at 9:30.
I was going to say 8:45, but sure, 9:30 works as well. No, Dan Patrick will be on at 9:30, but I will give it away. I'll give the stat away probably at 7 o'clock. It's a good one.
Sounds good.
Solid one.
Solid stat at 7 o'clock. When we return.
What a tease I just gave. It's horrible. Sorry, people.
Just hang out. 48 minutes. You can make it.